Give him the forecast.
Omega level threat detected.
Ancient sands, heed my command and reclaim these relics of hatred!
Viewer discretion is advised.
If you just know you're that girl,
Yeah.
you just have no choice but to be that girl. And I feel like I'm that girl.
What if you don't wake up feeling like that girl? How do you be that girl?
You need to go back to sleep and wake back up again so you can feel like that girl.
There you have it, child. That's why I feel like I'm the T. I feel like I'm the T because I work at being the T. Like, no shade. I'm not the T just because a bunch of bitches like me and live for me because we all homegirls. I'm the T because I'm the motherfucking T. And that's just sad. I mean, that's just what it is. People legit in the world love to live for foolishness. Love to live for foolishness. You love to live for your bald head homegirl that just bald head whole shit. It's clear that I'm working at being the C, so girl, let me be the C. Like, give me that, give me my flowers.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now. Clap that team, bitch!
Hello, everyone. Hello. Okay. Child, we're here, queer and trying to be everywhere. So please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hello, gone, honey. Okay. Also, hit that notification bell. That way you'll be updated each and every time I'm uploading something new. Also, make sure you're following me on Instagram at YBSpeaks. Welcome all. Tag those friends, tag those girls, tag the haters, tag the ones that want to be a part. Tag everybody, bitch. Because we are here tonight to get into some things, honey, okay? Season 6, episode 10, the live review. Hello, God. And tonight I have with me, y'all already know who this child, the top tier girl. Hello, God, the one who's made the way for thine self. And referring back to last year's interview, honey, created her own narrative. Hello, God, no one's creating it for her. She's steering her own direction. Some of the girls still to this day need to take notes. All right, so joining me today for the live review is none other than Jett. Jeff, honey, hello.
Yes. Hello, God. My God, today. Love
What's
the
going
intro,
on?
IB.
You
Nothing
doing good?
much. I'm doing great. It's Sunday. The Lord's Day. Hello. So,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah. I'm doing great, baby. How are you?
I'm good, child. Blessed and never stressed, child. You know, health is well type shit. Went to the gym today. Luckily, second day in a row, I got a chance to get on the Smith machine and do my lifting, honey, because it's hard to
Yeah.
get there. Those muscle girls are always hogging up all the time. Always hogging up the time. I just want to get my little 20, 30 minutes in real quick. And
I hate it. And I have the same thing in my gym. I'll be looking at them like, okay, is your time done? And I sometimes even walk over like, hey, how many sets do you have left? Because I'm trying to get on there. I don't have 3 hours to spend here. I'm here here you go.
you know what? You brought that up, and my people are going to roast me alive if I don't mention this. You know, I do other content outside of chasing reality, right? So I talk about my gym journey. And that's one of my pet peeves is when people are staring me down, like, and then I feel like they do it to me because I don't look as threatening as everybody else on there. And it's just like, if you've really been scanning the building, you'll know that I just got on it, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes when the girls be staring me down, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be petty and it makes me want to go longer.
Now you gonna look at your phone longer, girl.
Child.
But listen, I will say to anybody, I don't care if you're a buff man, sir. Especially if you're taking a long time. Now, granted, I'm not gonna come up to you right away. Like if I notice that, okay, you're playing right, then I'm gonna go over like how many times do you have left. But I know the feeling because I've had it happen, and I got an attitude. Like, what do you mean? I just started here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you're
but
making
no,
me
I
want
get
to
it
know.
though. I think people do a little too much, and I'm just like, no wonder y'all haven't gotten anywhere because you shouldn't be on there for a whole hour, girl. Like,
Okay.
I get my 20, 30, my little sets of reps, and I get the fuck on. Like, there's no, you're gonna overwork your muscles, and you wonder why you stiff like Tedley. You know, girl, you running around here on perpetual Little Kim dance styles, child. You know, just stiff. Oh, before we get into the things of all the things that y'all are here for, I want to make this disclaimer. I forgot to make it in the last one with Chloe. Any and everything that comes out of my mouth is me. So even if the guest Kiki, that is not they're not agreeing with me. Okay, I just happen to be a funny bitch. People like to laugh, and y'all know I'm known for reading, roasting, and toasting the girls down. So it's all in good fun for myself, but anything I say has no bearing on my guests. Okay, I just want to let that be known.
And if I agree, I will say I agree.
Period. And that's what top tier girls do. They take ownership. Okay.
Hello.
That actually, ownership is what I wanted to kind of get into real quick with you before we get into the things.
Okay.
There seems to be this whole like, because you know you can't fight, why is he speaking? And one thing I've always respected about you is that even if you can't fight, the fact that you're still not scared enough to get in there with your shade, because the rest of the other girls do it. You're not afraid to combat the girls and have your points. Because even when Seven last season was doing all his shit, you still weren't scared to speak up for yourself. So how do you respond to people that have that outlook on you? Be like, child, you shouldn't be trying to talk the talk when you can't, you know, necessarily walk the walk with the girls.
Yeah, I think for people to think that I should have my mouth shut is kind of dumb. I'm pretty sure that if anybody was in my shoes, they would want to speak up for themselves. Um, and like a situation that happened on this season, for example, like when I was approached with my two quote unquote friends, and they were talking about like they're gonna fight me. If I was really scared, I would have left, walked. If I had any reason to like, I'm leaving. Like I don't feel safe. No, like I'm gonna still say what I want to say, and yeah, like it's dumb. Honestly, I think that everybody should speak up for themselves, and just because I can't fight does not mean I should be crickets. Imagine if I was crickets the whole season because somebody was talking, you know, because I can't talk back. That's dumb. I also think that as a grown person, I think that I can control myself, and people should be able to control themselves if we're having a combative conversation. We shouldn't have to resort to instantly, okay, man, square up. Like, what? So you can't obviously you can't use your words. So now you want to declassify yourself and fight. Goodbye.
I think, you know, it's almost like a Cynthia. Remember that season when Cynthia, you know, Portia was trying her on that boat, and we never knew that. We just thought Cynthia was just like, you know how Cynthia is, girl. But then she horse kicked that bitch. Hello, God. And everybody was trying to come at Cynthia like, why are y'all mad now that the girl has finally exploded? So that's my question too. If it came down to it, would you physically defend yourself against a raggedy bitch?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Like, and I'm sure you see now. I be in the gym. I lift weights. I have my workout class. Granted, I've never been in a fight. Okay.
Okay.
But if it was to happen, I mean, it happens. But I don't think that I will be an easy win or anything like that. Let's not get that twisted. I lift, and I'm pretty sure I lift a lot more than than the other girls. So yeah, I think that no, bye.
I will say this. Now that you mention that, I have to say, this is a very unfit cast. I will say, you can tell the girls' cholesterol levels are through the roof. You can tell that their vitamin D levels are very low. You can just kind of tell like they love to eat. They love to chill. They don't really get out much. And I hate to point this out, but I said this with Mother with her drag performance. Girl, you were out of breath even way after the performance up until the ending of that scene. That says a lot. And the freakum dress was giving freakum poop. What is that thing called? Pouch. It was giving kangaroo. And I just, y'all girls need to get in the gym, sweat a little bit.
Maybe I should teach them a workout class like I did last year. Maybe
Girl, they was out of breath then. They were out of breath then, child. So
yeah, they need to focus on serving looks and not serving other things.
Well, now that never mind. We'll get into that later. But the girls are It's Dallas too, though. Like I noticed Dallas fashions, and I know there's a lot of transplants, and most of the girls we see are not from there. So of course they're bringing their own little fashion culture with them from wherever they're from, and it just I think it makes Dallas look bad in a way. Because can
Yeah.
you speak to that? Is that Dallas? Like they just don't know how to dress, or do you think it's just the transplants? Like I said.
I think it's the transplants. There's definitely people out here that can dress.
Okay.
Yeah. But I will say this, the fashion choice has been very lately has been very mediocre.
It's
So
in parade. It's giving it's not giving, and my thing is this: fashion is obviously subjective, but also like if you're a true designer, you know, Glenn or Mother or somebody, you can make a skirt, which is not an easy task in the real fashion world, right? I used to watch Project Runway religiously.
mm,
I just look, I'm like, y'all are these designers, but I'm not really seeing it all come together. Like a Trey Howard situation. Shout out to Trey Howard, hello God. Like,
yes.
you're not seeing it come to life. And even if you can't design, you should be able to style in such a way. But I am
Mhm.
seeing that, you know, a lot of the girls, it's striped shirts, girl. It's giving, you know, circus fair in one moment. Next, it's giving lumberjack worker, girl. We just,
It's
whatever.
giving Golden Girls one day, you
Very much,
know.
very much so. Another question I have for you is probably a bit obvious. I would like to ask your opinion and how you felt in the moments, and also looking back at the episode's play when you are being faced with, whether directly or indirectly, with degenerate ass behaviors such as discrimination and people saying the defamatory things towards the Latin community. How did that make you feel this season?
Um, Coming based off especially last year, I was like, here we go. Like, why are we getting this doing this again? You know, it was very tired. When I first heard it from Mother when he told me about Donnie's situation, I was really gagged. I was like, we're going with that? Like everything in the world that you could use me to drag me, and you want to go with that, especially in the climate that we're in, right? Like, you know, it's crazy out here in Texas. You know, ice is pretty much very everywhere. You know, so in that moment when I heard that comment, it was very distasteful. As the other Hispanics, the Latino community, I'm sure would have felt. So I was very tired of it. I was over it. I just wish that he never backtracked. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the season wouldn't have been so much about this. We could have easily moved forward. He could have easily just said, "Okay, I didn't mean to say it that way." It was just very dark humor or whatever he said it was in his case. But and we could have just moved on. You know, because I don't see I don't see Donnie as a racist person, honestly. To be very honest, I don't see him as that. I just think that the comment was just very distasteful, like I said, and it was just yeah, the wrong timing and all that. It was so ugly.
Yeah. Did you take any personal offense?
Yes. So I have family that it could be affected by that. Me personally, I can't because I'm from Dallas, Texas. But I have a lot of family that it has been affected by, and so I didn't take that comment very well because it relates to me.
Do you feel because it wasn't the only situation from last season when you were part of that whole, you know, hip hop is black debacle, there really wasn't a gut punch like the way we're seeing in this season when it comes to, you know, the racial climate that we find ourselves in. Do you
Mhm.
feel like there was more sauce added to all of this? And take this into consideration as well with the comments from the viewers, because they're, I don't know if you've seen them, but they're very disgusting.
Yeah.
And do you think that because there was an add-on with Zesty and Rio, that's why this blew up the way that it did? Because now there's more people that represent that. Because there's this whole talk of y'all took over the season. There's so many more of you guys and the rest of the black cast. And I'm just like, girl, there's 3 people on here that are outside of the black experience. What are we talking about? So
Yeah.
it kind of makes me feel like the viewers are obviously ignorant and stupid as hell. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them have shown
Yeah.
their ignorance in the comments. But do you think that a lot of that was exacerbated because if you were on here by yourself, let me put it that way,
Hmm.
think that that would have been something that was said?
No, definitely not. Like what the comments are now, you think if it was just me by myself? No,
Yeah.
definitely not. And like good point. It just two additional other Hispanic cast members and everybody else, like you said, is black. So I didn't if it was just me by myself, it would have been like last year. It would have been like, why are we doing it to Jet? Why are we doing you know what I'm saying? So yeah, now that I have those two cast members, everyone wants to now throw this uproar and like is Jet and the three, the two amigos or stuff like that. Like it's ugly. I wish we didn't have to get to that point. I thought the viewers were more intelligent than that.
Girl.
But yeah, I think that that's just dumb and it just because if the shoe was on the other foot, girl, imagine the uproar for that. So let's just look at it that way.
Quick question too. When you were at the skating ring with Mother and she was spewing the filth from her mouth, did you catch her subliminal?
In the moment, no, because I was just so focused on like, girl, like I was more focused on why he's thinking that I'm the one trying to get this group separated. Whatever we were arguing about that time, all his shade, didn't really catch it. And so right now, I really can't think of what was one of the things he said. Do you remember?
One of the things that stuck with me was the low key shade where he was like, "Oh, you chose the girls on the other side of the fence," and I looked at that as him referencing the Trump wall, like you chose your people.
Oh,
That's how I took it because he backed it up with two other things. I can't remember exactly what it was, so I'm not going to say it since I don't know exactly what it is. But through that conversation, there were at least 3 to 4 moments where it was like low key shading you guys, and that one stuck with me because I reference that a lot when I speak about Mother in that way. It's like, damn girl, like I wonder if someone else caught that or did Jet not catch that, because that's how I received it. Now, if she just said that, but she backed it up with 2 to 3 other things that were demeaning towards the girls, and I just wasn't feeling that. And throughout the season, the Tacos Los Trios comment, like there's just a lot of moments in this season where it's like, girl, you're. Now, what if someone, I said it with Chloe, I'll say it, and what if someone was trying to reference our watermelon fried chicken eating asses?
and then we would be, held to the fire, bitch. Like I'd be canceled. So
Exactly.
I honestly, the wall comment, the other side of the fence, I didn't catch it like that. Now that you're pointing it out that way, I can see why you can hear that. The other two things I can't remember the top of my head. But yeah, that's something I need to actually look back because something I want to do this year is watch episode one to the finale before the reunion. I want to make sure I have all my notes. I don't want to let any rock unturned. I want to lay everything on the table. So that's something I'm going to keep an eye out when I watch it back, and I'll address it at the reunion. But yeah, like you said, if we were to say the watermelon stuff, girl, I will be blocked. Won't be coming next. My contract is ripped up for next season. Wrap her up in a bow and send her off. So yeah.
And you know what kills me, and I mention this a lot, not one time from you, Rio, or Zesty have I ever felt the energy of discrimination, like especially in the moment of these people making those jokes towards y'all. I've never felt you guys ever tried to hit them. I know some of the comments are trying to reference Zesty's dirty bitch comments, or you girls are on food stamps and welfare. But girl, we all talk like that to everybody across the way. So yeah, I don't really look at that as a thing,
Yeah.
thing. So can you explain that, like, because y'all would have been well within your rights to get the girls together the way they were trying to get you together, because it seems like that wasn't ever a thought in y'all's minds at all to even do.
Yeah.
Because you guys have real reads and real shade.
Hello. When you know how to read a bitch down, you don't have to resort to the dark stuff. Like I would never have to go. I would never go that low unless the person goes low. That low. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When Bessie said those comments, I think of like when Nicki Minaj. I referenced this version. She was like, "As the IRS, bitch, I'm paying for your welfare, healthcare, whatever." Like stuff like that. It's a read. I never looked at it like that. That majority demographic does that. So, like you said, it was a read. That's how we talk. I think that people are trying to pick, nitpick at stuff like that. Since Donnie said this phrase and Mother saying this, so now they want to pick and choose what we're saying and flip it to make it prejudice. So
No,
they're just trying to find another reason, girl.
One thing I am kind of living for about this season so far is that finally I felt like there was a break off between you and the drama with Donnie.
Mhm.
Um, where were you guys? Because I don't, now that I'm looking at it, since your guys' meetup, I really don't see much of you guys in the same place in the scenes. Is that,
Yeah.
does that obviously signify that y'all ain't good like that, or?
Well, after the sit down, I remember that I was like, "You stay over there, I stay over here. Keep my name out, out each other's mouth." And honestly, when we would have events, especially from me, I didn't want to invite Donnie so soon. Me personally, and again, I can only speak for me. I don't know what these other girls do. So whenever I had the Valentine event, I didn't feel like wanting to invite him, and Rachel was on the same page with me because we were both hosting it. Um, I mean, you guys will see something else that we are involved in that we do, me between me and Donnie. But I think I wanted time away from him, especially with all that, and just hopefully that we could become better and like we can be in a room and we can actually be cordial. I think Taco Tuesday was the first time we were in the room after that, and
Okay.
you see how that went down. So yeah, I think you'll see some more interaction between me and Donnie. That
I kind of hope so because I hate that I'm, scratching myself for my earlier reviews. But again, I have to speak on what people are showing me,
yeah.
and how those moments make me feel as a person and as a reviewer. But I slowly am starting to be like, okay, I can, now that you've calmed the fuck down, girl, and now that okay, I can digest you now. I can take you now. I can live for this now because before it was like excommunication, girl. I wanted to send John Wick after you.
Dead ass, and I needed a space. But I think honestly, me personally, I think the space was needed and it paid off. To be honest,
Amen. Amen.
yeah.
And I liked how you moved accordingly. A lot of other people just would have been faking until they make it and then wonder why things aren't really working out like they should because it wasn't organic to begin with. So
Mhm.
it's okay to, not be like we see with Rio. You 1 minute you good with the man, next minute you don't want to invite him to an event and you doing all of this back and forward shit and behind people back, but in their face you trying to be nice. It's just I like the fact, and again, I want people to look back at your introduction to Chasing Dallas and they will notice that a lot. That's what the problem is with people is that they're not following the beginning. And
Mhm.
if they can see the way that you show up consistently, they'll be like, oh, okay, he's a little messy, but he stands in his shit. Unlike a lot of the other girls who throw the grenade child and then run away and act like it wasn't them.
Exactly, YB, and that's something that to me, honestly, this especially this year, like the comments are always, or even the cast will always say, I throw rocks and hide my hands." If that was the case, I would never own up to anything I say. I would never confront and go back and forth with. If you address me, I'm gonna say, "Yeah, I did say that," or I'll be the first one to even bring it up. So
Amen.
I think if that was the case, I will be like what mother's actually been doing is whispering to somebody, "Girl, so da 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 da." Chloe did this. Telly, what is he doing? So now Telly's gonna get the heat because now, Mother done planted the bug in someone's ear, and Telly now is going around telling the group. You know what I'm saying? So that is the definition of throwing your rocks and hiding your hands. And
Yeah.
not at one point, I don't think that I went around and said, "Don't hang out with Donnie," because I didn't tell any other guys to not invite that man. That was my plans on my events. If everybody else wanted to do that, that was on them. So I don't throw rocks in my hands. If I have to say something, I'll say it. I'll do it. But no, that's not me, and I hate that. Like you said, let's go back from the beginning, see how I came about, and this is how I answered. Miss Fashion Blogger, where's your fashion? I don't see it. I said it to her face. Like, so yeah.
And people are able to grow from that. I definitely wanted to get your take on the scene with that wasn't this episode, that was last episode when you were confronted because it did seem like it was planned
Oh
between
yeah.
um, Zesty and Rio because the way Kelly was laughing, you could tell that this was a conversation on the way there. Like this was like was gagging a little bit, like oh shit, like they're really about to do what they said they were gonna do. And then when they got there, it's just the switch up for me and the surprise gag on your face.
Yeah. Yes, because I came, like I said, coming to support to check the venue out. He invited me, not knowing he had this planned. You now Kelly laughing. I have something that happened after that that I want to say at the reunion that
Okay.
is like, girl, but yeah, I was gagged, YB. I came there, I'm thinking, we're good. Um, and then I was bombarded with this information. And then clearly, one thing that if we go back and watch, Zesty said that I said this while producers were around. Producers that it was never said. Then he said, "Oh, well, wait, was when we left the mall. So which one is it? Was it when the producers were around, or was it when they weren't around? Because the producers all said, I said after the scene was done, I said, do we have clips of footage of me saying that? And no, no footage is found of me saying that. All production said it, and then so I think to me, honestly, I think that was something that it was obviously a lie, and just for them to just okay, let's kick Jet to the curb. Everyone's already going against him. We don't want this to be his sidekicks. Everyone's labeling him that is that, and I think that they just wanted to distance themselves from that. Um,
So you can say unequivocally in this moment that you never said anything bad about Rio trying to slang his fish plates on the girls.
no, at that time we were talking about Mother and the situation he had with Glenn. Why would we even be talking crap about Rio at that point? After Rio was trying to defend me and my party. So that was something that was out the blue. So no.
Did you feel in that moment that this might? Because I'm not gonna lie, like I'm in the field, girl. I haven't fought in a very long time either because I think I've earned my elderly respect to where a bitch will know you'll be dragged from all the seven seas, child. Do not play with me.
Okay.
And you get that reputation, and people kind of like leave you alone a little bit after a while. And plus, I exude the energy, like, girl, you'll be roasted and toasted in the streets of life. Don't play. I get real Hulk energy, child. Okay, like puny gods all around this godforsaken earth. But when you were I could tell in that moment they were ready. Is that why you had that look on your face, like, oh, you girls are really like about to put your hands on me? Like, the
Like,
Zesty gives I'll jump a bitch energy.
yeah, I was even telling them like it's interesting that you both are doing this right now. Like you could have you have my number. And that was so far from the skating me when we Leslie went skating. That was episode one. I was inviting him to the pink party. No, no, that was not that was no, no, that was a different scene. No, but that was before the Valentine event. You saw me at the Valentine event, and you feel like I said it, you would have addressed it there, but you didn't. So you held the information that I said, and you waited for the perfect moments to bring it up. No, like this was planned.
Can you also speak to their introduction into the show, and do you have a previous relationship with them prior to the show?
I did tell, so I sent the application to Zesty. I said that, this would be good. I know you just moved to Dallas. You have your lip gloss. So I thought that was a perfect opportunity for Zesty. So I sent it to him. And I checked up on him daily, like, hey, did you get the email? Did you get the interview? How'd it go? With Rio, he's been telling me for years that he's been wanting to be on the show. Um, you know, I didn't send him anything. He just told me, hey, girl, I got it. But that wasn't someone I recommended.
So, but you knew him prior to the show.
I knew of him, yeah,
Were
because he
you
would.
ever asked about him by production or asked about Zesty by production?
Zesty, yes.
But not Rio.
No.
So Rio got in on his own merit.
No. I think that Sean was helping him, I think, at the time. Because he was giving it was back and forth with him and Sean was telling him how it works and do this. So I think that would be more from Sean.
And I know Sean is losing his shit because Sean doesn't like the boy now.
Yeah, because my thing is like, why are we going against me when I did nothing but booked you for my event,
It's the
my
things that I
Valentine?
get for putting you bitches
You
on.
bitches on? Like, now we'll wrap your coffin with a bow. Girl, if you should have gave that energy to everybody else, I booked you. I paid that fee. I supported your business. Like, you
Should
should
have
have
sent a
been doing.
thank you note, you little hoe. Girl, you need a thank you note, girl.
I do. I will request it at the reunion.
I need a thank you note, you little hoe. Girl,
you're making me want to smoke, right, B? Hold on.
do your thing, honey. I'm trying to quit, but it's been difficult.
Hey, do what you gotta do, honey.
It's been difficult.
But yeah,
Okay, so at this, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say I had no say with him being casted or anything.
Okay.
So
So because a lot of people were wondering in the comments, and even here today, I've seen a few comments mention. And shout out to the comments, shout out to everybody coming in. Please like the video, I appreciate it. Okay, and engage in the conversation. That the girls they used you to get a spot on the show, and at this moment, that's why I was playing like, okay, we got what we needed from this bitch. Let's go ahead and dethrone her or gag her, or this will be the moment that we separate ourselves from her by trying to create some type of lie to hold against you. My bad. Go back real quick. How do you think they got that information about you allegedly saying that about the fish plates?
from Jesse.
So Zesty he made that up. That was something that he just.
I don't know, like that's what I'm trying to figure out. He ended up telling Rio, and that's how it came about. I think this is my thing. I think this happened because at the Valentine event, and it was shown when Rachel and Zesty were going back and forth. I
Uh-huh.
was me being Zesty's friend. I'm over here in the corner, like, okay, Zesty, let's how about not yell? Because obviously, if you're gonna yell, she's gonna yell. We're not gonna get anywhere. Like, we're not having an actual conversation. So I was trying to tell Zesty to calm down. Let's try to talk. That way we can like move on from this because it's getting annoying. Like they were arguing for 10 minutes,
Uh,
yelling back and forth. And so I thought that would be shown, but after that is when he felt some type of way. Because one of my other friends that were at the Valentine party or date night, he told me, "Girl, I feel like you should have had Zesty back more." And so I think that Zesty wished in that moment, since him and Rachel were going back and forth, he wanted me to step in and like, hey, like
Zesty also made a mention that the check didn't get cleared when he did his bartending stuff. So who was supposed to pay him? You or Rachel?
there was no invoice sent, but
Oh,
it would have been Rachel because I paid for Rio.
okay.
But I think the only thing with Zesty is he just brought the mixers. We brought the alcohol.
So he didn't bring a bartender either?
There was a lady there. That she granted there was, but she accepted tips. I don't know if she was just working on tips, but I didn't get an invoice. I did tip the girl when I got a drink, but
So to this day, do you know if they've been paid for their services or not?
they haven't.
So that could be another reason she's kind of bitter. She wants her coin.
Probably, but I never got an input. I had to go back to text messaging to see how that came about and how it was gonna come. But I think
Because
he
we
off.
know you pay. We know the check always clears with your photo shoots, your video shoots, the choreo. I've never heard anyone say Jeff does not pay the choreography, the girls, like the artists that you feature. I've never heard someone complain and say you don't pay nobody.
Hey, hello, I pay my people. I'm very big on that, But so I don't know how that situation happened. Like I said, I need to go back to my text messages. Maybe he offered his services, you
Mm,
know. So I need to go back and check how that came about. But there was no invoice sent, so maybe that was just him just saying. I don't think that was the case of him lying.
mm.
I think it was based off of me not supporting him after him and Rachel got into it. I think that's where it came from. And also, I don't know if you heard, but like at that moment when I was confronted, Rio had a fish plate in his car that he wanted to throw in my face. I- And listen, YB, I purposely didn't tell him I was coming. I purposely didn't tell him I was coming. I came up like, I'll see if I'll come. He let. If I was to have told him I'm pulling up, that fish plate would have been in my face.
So
Crazy.
he stored a fish plate in his car, so we know his car smells like fish. And you've made this, and I want to let you know this right now. You don't have my phone number, but that would have been the day you could have called me. All that I ask is you pay for my flight. I will come and stomp a mud hole in that bitch. Because for the life of me, why would you even try to do that?
A moment.
At this moment right now, where are you guys in a good place, or it's just up and stuck?
With me and Dusty, like I said, that was my friend. I'm open to dialogue with him. I want to get to where we can be back to where we were. Rio, the girl is talking about slapping my face. Girl, I don't, baby, I don't play well with that. So I don't see eye to eye with the girl. You want to fight? I mean, you want to fight? Like, girl, bye. No.
Are you gonna come in like Drita and Karen, girl, with your fur on and security, bitch? Red girls.
Well, no fur, but security will definitely be in attendance. No one's touching YB. No one's touching me. I paid too much for this pretty face. No one's gonna. And why am I dressing in high fashion to come and get it torn up, girl? Bye.
Well,
You're out of
Sean
your
already.
mind.
Sean says he might be there. He got your bag, so
Well,
he's.
Sean can come with me if he wants.
Sean said he ain't gonna let nobody touch his girl.
And I have a lot of friends that are that way, and I love that from me.
And I think too, it's also important to note. I believe when we looked at all the chasing reality platforms, Chasing Atlanta was one of the first platforms that said, you know what, we're not going to do an audience in our reunions because they used to have so many fights.
Yeah.
Girl, I remember. Ooh,
I
I ain't
saw
gonna
a
lie.
clip.
Those were the days. The girls that know, honey, the girls that know, those now looking back, ooh, honey, those were the days. Girl, the girls were fighting.
That's
So
Prime TV.
my message is to Rio, girl, calm the fuck down. If you can't fight with your words, and I know you tired of your own voice because you sound like girl, like a mouse. It's okay, girl. But fight with your words, girl. Don't put your hands on nobody.
Exactly. And another thing to piggyback on that would be if you can't sustain yourself and you don't have the class as a CEO that you say you are, then this is not the right place for you. We don't do this over here. Like I said, this is chasing Dallas. This is not baddies. If you want to do that, Bad Boys is looking for people right now. If you want to go apply for that,
Girl, they'll rock
um,
her. You gotta be in
so
shape to fight the girls, honey. He wearing them Charlie Sheen shirts. He need to go retire somewhere, girl. He's not. He needs to a very unhealthy cast.
I told the girls, learn how to read, pick up a book, expand your vocabulary. Like,
Exactly.
let's not resort to using your fists, girl. If you can't read me down, then don't come for me.
Speaking of coming for people, do you feel the backlash that Rio has been facing lately because of his, racist rhetoric online? Do you think that he's deserving of the backlash that he's getting?
Um, People have up to be the right to be upset, rightfully so. The way he is just apologizing is just not. It's like a yes, I'm sorry, but why are we adding that but? I don't think that he's getting the understanding of why it's upsetting people. So he does. He deserves the backlash. I'm sorry. Like, educate yourself and learn how to apologize the right way. See why it is affecting other people. Just the same way how you felt offended when the deportation comment.
Mm.
You wanted people to see and understand where we were coming from. Open your eyes and see where they're coming from. That's all. And if he just needs to learn how to, as a CEO, you need to, especially you and your business, you're out there, girl. This is not good for your business.
And while we have the moment and the platform to do so, can you speak to, because everybody has this feeling like y'all, I don't want to say y'all, but you, since you're here, that you are not black friendly. Can you speak to your relationship with the black community?
Girl, I am out with my people. I love that. Like, girl, that is never even a question. I go in the room, they're like, "Girl, what is she doing here?" No, like, when I enter the room, I'm very welcomed. I don't even see the difference, to be honest. I don't look at it that way. I've been growing up around the black community when I was little. Um, so I'm very well with them.
Okay, so y'all
Yeah.
heard it here. Jet Jeff is for the community. He lives for the community. He's in the community. He lives for us.
Yes,
So
honey. They live for me.
obviously, the vast majority of the people that have something to say, y'all just don't live for their community.
Right.
That's what that shows me, and that's craziness. Because again, if it was that way, I highly doubt you girls would even want to be on this cast or be a part of the platform, knowing what the majority of the people on this cast are going to be African Americans.
Hmm.
And plus, I like the blend. I like the introduction, especially if it fits. If people can make it work. We do need to push envelopes in that arena, especially in today's time.
Hmm.
Just because someone's struggle doesn't look like yours or there's no real relatability there, I guarantee you, if you remove all of the foolishness, you'll be able to find something that you guys share in common with one another. And that's what we needed most of all, because if you look at what's going on in the world right now, unity is what's needed, required, and desired to push forth, hello God, what we need. Amen.
I definitely agree, and definitely in these times, girl. So yes, for sure.
It's crazy. Okay, is that all that I wanted to address? There are other things I'm going to address with you as we run down the list. This episode
Okay.
not all that long. It was about 40 minutes, give or take, minus some of the commercials, girl, that weren't needed, required, or desired. We'll get into that too. All right, y'all. Again, thank you for joining us. We are here, and we're going to get into the live review, honey, of Chasing Dallas, Season 6, Episode 10. This episode started off with Granny Goodness and the scroll leader himself, Tedley Chow. Granny Goodness tells us that she ended up losing her job, and that's why she won't be, putting out her skirt line. All I have to say in this regard is, girl, you followed up with the mess with Chloe, and prior to that, you've been in everybody else's business other than the Indeed.com website that you needed to be involved in. Your priorities are messed up, mama. I understand on one hand, we have a show to do, and you've been known as the bone carrier, and that's great for you, but you got a lot of other things to worry about. You need to get the funds up, because we wasted time, money, and our existence on a whole scene. If you're looking for a venue for your skirt viewing, and we're not going to get any of that. I also think that was a planned moment for that scene to back up why we will not be seeing the chase of her at all throughout the since that moment. Because if you think about it, it wasn't mentioned. It was mentioned in passing. There were hopes, there were dreams talked about in previous episodes, but nothing came to fruition. We don't even have a sample. That means you weren't even working on it. You don't have any pictures, you don't have any videos, you don't have anything leading up to at least the sample version. So that lets me know that you weren't working on it, you didn't have it, and losing your job, girl, other things to worry about. I also agree with what Harviana stated in her live. I would not be on this show knowing that I am struggling to find a job. We know that most of these chases, if not all of them, are funded by the 9-to-5. And on top of that, you'll be read for filth by, girl, like, your priorities are messed up. But one thing I'll give the bitch is she doesn't look like her struggle.
Hello.
The bitch do be putting on her shit and be doing her thing, and I would have never known that mama was jobless.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you're saying. I think one thing though I will take from that is that's very bold of him to say about losing your job. He's being very open about that. I wouldn't have personally brought that up because of how I know how these girls play. So now they're gonna try to use that against me. I'm number one. So I would have definitely kept it to myself, but kudos to him for being that open and transparent with us. But like you said, like, we've been focusing on the drama and the mess, and there's no product to be shown. At least we could have seen the material, like a material, a color, a sketch. I think that would have benefited him, but now we're just going to be leading up with just more drama. And as someone that wants to take the top spot, the top tier girl spot, that's not a rule in my book. We don't do that here. We have products to show. We show what we're working on. We show the hustle, the chase, and he does not fit the requirements in this moment. So my top spot is secure at this moment.
Period. I mean, pretty much. And sorry, Emily, I give grace when grace is needed. I'll give a cute balance if balance is needed. But girl, this is called chasing reality, not chasing drama, not chasing foolishness, and not chasing, the dream of something, the idea of something. I'm going to speak in this way like I speak every season when I'm tearing the girls down for not having a chase. You cannot apply for this show and you don't even have a proof of concept. If you don't even have a sketch, a sample, if you don't have something to show the girls, if you have not shown us that the LLC, the tightening up of your business, your website, I'll put it in this way. Tika Naturals, I will not be sitting here on anybody's platform promoting anything that I don't have. I'm not going to be living in the world of make-believe, because what happens is when you get on these shows, after the first couple of episodes, products should be secure and ready for sales, honey. You should be posting your reels. I say this all the time. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. You should be by the middle of the episode. I'm going to give you that grace. You should
Yeah.
already be ready to upload all of the content, the promotional stuff, all the things needed, required, and desired to make some money, because we all know what? Y'all do not get paid to be on these platforms.
Yeah.
So the take from that should be, let me do everything that I can. So even if Mother, for instance, you lost your job, if you would have had those skirts in place and had a website for people to purchase, you might have been able to make some money. Hello, God. It may not have been enough to fund your life, but at least you would have been able to have. But the fact that you girls didn't have anything in production, anything ready, lets me know that you weren't ready.
Yeah. And and that's something that if I was being with friends at the time, I would have helped them. Like, hey, girl, this is what we need to be doing if you don't have a job right now. But of course, you're not my friend. You want to choose the opposite side, girl, then you're gonna be losing with the losing team. So like you said, girl, they need to use this as an advantage. And one thing a lot of girls do this, which they need to stop, is waiting to the finale to release the product. At that time, baby, now we're about to roll out another franchise, so we're gonna be focused on another group of people. So I think as if we're having the attention right now, we need to be doing that throughout the season. And I wish the girls would start doing that, but as you can see in this season, there's a couple of them that wait to the finale or a reunion, and now, girl, it's too late.
Because it
So,
will, unfortunately, I hate to bring this up, but this season of Dallas, viewership wise, is really suffering. And to not take advantage moving forward, we don't know the direction these things are going to be going.
mhm.
Top spots are only as good as the foundation you're laying. So I advise the girls, if you're not getting paid to be on these platforms, you need to do everything in your power to push something that people can buy. And
Mhm.
not only be a messy person, but be someone of substance to the point where you're so relatable that people are, again, emotionally invested in you. That way, their love for you and support extends outside of the show.
Yeah.
So if you are pushing something, like lip gloss or music or whatever the case may be, people are going to, when your season is over, they'll still mess with you.
Yeah. And like just thinking right now, like even if you didn't have a product, you could have the website. You could have had like for people to enter their email, so once it drops or more information, they'll send it to the email. Everything would have been suffice for you to show that you're serious and want to show, chase your skirt line. But the the girls just the girls need more education. Again, just don't pick the wrong side and you'll have the best advice. Like,
And also, this is my advice to a lot of the other girls too, because I hear it in confessionals and in the scenes. And the way a lot of these girls talk, your vernacular is so below subpar to the point where I see why y'all getting fired. I see why y'all losing jobs. I see why you don't connect with nobody, because y'all are not picking up books. Y'all are not trying to read and educate yourselves. You guys are literally sitting here on a below hooked on phonics education level, and it's really upsetting me and my homegirls because it really shouldn't be that way. A lot, and to see that a Rachel or somebody y'all pushing 30 in your 30s and you still don't know how to speak well,
yeah.
like, we got to do better in that regard, because it's really upsetting and it really bothers me. But girl, we'll be here forever talking about the illiteracy of most of these cast members, girl.
Okay.
In this same breath, Mother is being messy, girl, and she lets the girls know that Chloe allegedly stole the car. So you made reference in your scene with Tedley down to Chef Messy's restaurant, hello God, that Chloe not only is stealing men, but she's stealing cars. What did you mean by her stealing men?
Uh, that statement was like in general, we're not like, well, for her, that's her line of work.
Okay.
I'm sure she's stolen a couple of men in the past with her job. But now we're stealing men. I mean, we're stealing cars. Chloe, like, come on, girl, but get it how you live. But obviously, we found out that it wasn't her or whatever the case may be. But at the time, girl, what are we doing? That shook me. Um, so yeah, girl, I was gagged.
Yeah, I can imagine. I was like, okay, child. But coming out of Mother's mouth again, I just was like, Here we go again. I guess it's expected at this point that she's going to tell all the tea.
Hmm. But
Uh,
just make sure you're aware of the repercussions that come with it if you're gonna be doing that, girl.
exactly. And that's the thing I don't think that she was prepared for.
Yeah.
I really don't have much to say about Tedley in this scene. It's, there's, unless you have
Yeah.
something to say.
No, not really. He's showing. You're probably gonna hate me for saying this, but he's showing more loyalty to Chloe for not believing what Mother is saying that he ever showed loyalty to me. So you just met the girl.
I'm going to get into that because the scene's coming up where that conversation is going. So
Okay.
definitely get into that. Child, next, Rachel, I'm sorry, Jayla and Rachel, pretty much they shared the same scene that Jayla shared with Chloe. We're having
Mm.
a therapy moment while I beat your face. I was invested in the Chloe conversation, but then in the very next episode, we see the same kind of layout. I just think this was people are going to hate me for this, but I don't hate Jayla. It's just, I'm going to give her as much as she's giving because have we seen her in a confessional?
No.
You don't care to speak to it, so I'm going to speak to it. It's late and it's tired for you to do the same thing that you did for a previous cast member. I'm kind of over it. Because again, we still don't get a chance to see the final content product in the episode. You already
Yeah.
did this months ago. Where's the final cut? Where's the final photo? Where's the final video the content that you did? At this point, you're just wasting everybody's time. In my opinion.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, she at this point in time, I really was not seeing her as much. She was very trying to. I think that she was just very annoyed with all the drama. Like as you can see, when she left, we were all together. She left the room. So she kind of at this point was disconnecting herself from us, just not wanting to be around this if we're gonna be giving this every single time. But what I will say is she does show up on this coming up episode. 'Cause I think this next episode's Rio's Pink Party. So what I will say is that she does show up there to do something, or not do something, but we have a conversation. You know?
Okay. Because I feel like I heard a shout out to the chasing panel. Some of the boys over there know her from another show that she was a part of before. And apparently she was a crash out. So that's why a lot of people might be a little like, okay, girl, like how you gonna be sitting here trying to be Mother Teresa when you was just giving Van Helsing not too long ago?
Yeah, because this was a Zeus network show, and you know how Zeus gets down.
Yes.
So I was honestly going forward to seeing her here. I wanted to see that type of personality, but that was just, I guess, a gimmick that she was doing for that show. And this was actually the real Jayla. So
Okay. I mean, and I'm cool with that. If you're gonna bring that kind of demeanor and that level of peace, that's great. I just want to see it backed up by a chase.
yeah,
You
true,
know what I'm
true.
saying? 'Cause a lot of, everybody fits what they need to fit for a cast. And I just feel like the girls who are allegedly established already, like Jayla claims, again, I don't follow you. I don't think I need to in order to, it should be visually represented on the show. And unfortunately,
Mm,
it falls short for me.
yeah, I think that she had a great story to tell though,
Yeah, me too.
but yeah, I think that was just missed opportunity coming from her.
Yeah, me too. I really don't have much to say about that scene because I'm sorry, I might be a little biased here. I'm just not feeling Rachel. I haven't really felt her much. All I can say with Rachel is beautiful gowns.
All I can say for Rachel is New York.
That's it.
I One thing I want to touch on from because me and her hosted a Valentine's Day night, and one of our confessionals. Well, looking back, girl, I was like, "Wait, we're hosting this, and I'm talking about Mother, and we're the host together. Why are you coming with for me, girl? We're hosting this together." And then in confession, she says, "You wouldn't like to be called a fat ass pig, bitch." Excuse me.
You know what's crazy is even that scene accompanying accompanying the confessionals. I still kept forgetting that y'all were hosting this together because I
Hmm.
didn't understand the relationship. I said this in my review. I didn't understand the relationship that you and Rachel had because we didn't get a chance to see y'all close on screen. So I was just like, it's kind of left field for y'all to host something together, and we don't know the type of relationship you guys have for this. But it all displayed itself in the scene, in the confessionals, because I was like, oh, they are hosting this together. Were y'all close? Are y'all close?
So the way this came about is because this was after the skating ring. I was like, I've been wanting to do something together, and then I was like, okay, well, we can at least do Valentine's. I was around the corner. I told her, hey, we want to do something. She wanted to host something for Valentine's. I said, well, we can host it together, and then it was just from that. We never sat down and had the conversation. But yeah, that's why it was very that's why it didn't look like we were hosting together because it was all over the place.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I have no more to say about that scene. So we move on to Donnie Child. He's performing Down to the Club Child on his birthday. In the midst of him preparing to hit the stage, Child, Miss Chloe herself, Child, she gets drug out of the club by security because it's come out, girl, that, apparently, I don't know if this was the club it happened at, or this is someone that knows that owner to that club, but word got out, girl, that you're excommunicated from this experience, honey, because of your affiliation with this car being stolen. So I was gagged in the way that Donnie just he's drunk ass. He just couldn't leave that alone, girl, and I was over it. What were your thoughts?
Girl, Chloe Mustang, hide your keys and hide your man, honey. If I was there, girl, I would have walked out with her like, girl, what happened? Bring the cameras
Child,
with us, girl. Motherfucker, my performance. Let's follow Chloe, girl. This is juicier than this.
child, I do definitely agree with that. I was like, why didn't the camera follow her? Like, they kicked you out the club, not out of life,
Yeah.
We can follow you around the corner while you get a cigarette, girl, and you talk about honey.
Right.
But Glenn shows up, which was kind of a surprise in my opinion. But now that we too know that he's jobless, he had nothing else better going on. So I'm not adding any value to the show. I'm not bringing my chase. I'm hush mouth status. The only time I turn up is when a bitch really presses me, and I can appreciate that. But Glenn himself never really brought anything of value to the show. Let's just tell the truth. But you're at Donnie. You're supporting his situation. I personally, I'm a fan of studio because the mistakes aren't there. Live, if you can do live, you're that girl. And for me personally, I liked the track better than I liked the performance.
Okay.
Donnie stuff, because that thug vibe is like my shit. Like, I know I don't really give that too much, but hey, I'm really on that. I love my rap music, so I can really relate to the griminess and the grittiness of that beat. And I will say this, he does select pretty good beats, whether he raps well on them or not. I think the beats are pretty good, and I did live for the track. It's just the vocal performance. I know he'd be drunk, child, but it was given what it gave. What would what did you
It wasn't a Jett performance, but definitely not one of my favorite songs from him. Like you said, I liked his little bop song better than that. Um, so it was okay. Shout out to Donnie for still showing his chase though. Very much appreciated coming from an artist. It is hard out here to do all that. So shout out to him. But girl, wrong song choice for me. I know you like the song choice, but wrong for me. You could have kept pushing that bop.
No, I hear you. Do you think that, because we see on most of the turn up scenes, like from your perspective, if you've even been around, would you say that Donnie has a drinking problem? Or he just likes to turn up and have fun?
The boy is naturally like that, honestly. He's very jittery. I don't think he has a drinking problem.
Okay. Because
Now, if you would have,
he kind of came for me, child, and tried to read me down about me calling him a drug addict. And, that's my profession. That's my 9 to 5, is I've been working in the mental health field and drug rehabilitation field for over 13 years now. So when I gave my perspective, it's just really based on what you're showing me. And I've myself and other people that I've known personally have like anxiety issues and especially social anxiety. Like I'm not big on big crowds. I'm not big on motherfuckers being around me like that. Like I get real weird. So
Yeah.
I can understand. So from the outside looking, I'm just like, damn, it has to be that. So
Yeah.
prove, he stated and he was strong in his statement that that's not what the case is with him. But could you see though, as a viewer and as someone, like how we could call that Drugiana?
Definitely, girl. And then what really caught me out when I saw it was when I sat down with him, we had a conversation when we had a sit down. It was more like, oh, the mouth movements, that was very like, I think the man was allegedly going through stuff. But I told the girls this too. I said, don't take offense to heart what these reviewers are saying. Like you just said, you're going based off of what we're showing them and what they see. Um, you could be doing stuff like this. Go on platforms and clear the name up. It doesn't have to be like, oh, but go up there, like, girl, clear your name. This is what we're here for to do. This is why the reviewers are here. They have their job, and they're just going based off of what they see. I don't think that he has a drug or alcohol problem. I think that again, that's him. Now, if he is drunk, then that jitteriness is gonna be times 10 to where it doesn't look
Mm,
normal, you know?
okay. No, I hear you.
Not him, girl, not him dragging you. When did he do that?
Hmm?
When did he come for you?
He did an interview with Savion, and people
Um,
were sending me clips from the interview of him trash talking me and Kat. And it was very, we're readers. So
yeah,
when people try to read us, if it's not nowhere near the level of destruction that we could cause with our mouths, I kind of pay it. So I responded in kind, very light though. His reads were just, they weren't worthy to give what I would
yeah.
give somebody. Um,
Okay.
but
There were mid reads.
but through that interview and through his appearance on Harviana, I am more inclined to meet with him, sit down, and have a conversation because now that we're getting rid of you know how I roll. I don't like trash. I don't like mess on that level. I want to know a person. So by him giving a little bit more of himself outside of the raging craziness of, I can fuck with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Now we're getting a softer side of Donnie, and this time is his point of time.
Definitely. So just moving on, girl. So Lamont, he's showing his chase. He's cutting hair. Finally, we get to see actual hair cutting. We couldn't do that with Ted Lee because you gotta pull the skin cap back, and probably, in order to reveal a scroll, you have to shoot them. So you might have you mess with Marvel or anything.
Yes, I love
You know what I'm
Marvel.
talking about? A scroll,
Yes, yes.
a
I
skinwalker.
think maybe a Skinwalker. Maybe at that time, I think Lamont could at least show us the process of him adding his Beijing. That could have been something. I think that was a missed opportunity for there. But yeah, I like that. I think this scene was cute that he had like a familiar face on there. But another thing, I thought that he was very Jittery, honestly, in my opinion. The one in
Who?
the chair, the guy in the chair.
You know who that is, right?
Yeah, Kirk Franklin's son.
Yes, honey. I did not follow his journey on the reality show that he was a part of that they cited in their scene. But
Mhm.
leading up to that point, I knew that he was a heavy drug user and he
Oh.
different trauma and things of that nature. And he's allegedly also been SA'd as well. So as soon as I saw him show up in the scene, I was like, this is someone who is either just getting sober or is extremely high as fuck. And
Mhm.
sometimes, even when you are sober, and again, going back to my actual experience, what will happen is you have really damaged your mind so much to where you will be walking around this life like a sludge.
Yeah.
And that's how that showed up for me. And when he was, thank you for the super chat, boo. I appreciate it. Who is that? I can't.
Yes.
So much. That's how that showed up, and I felt really sad for him because you could tell he definitely gives that he talks to himself in the dark corners of life, and
Yeah.
it's I kind of wish we didn't show that. Even when he went to explaining, about being inspired, just the way it was blurted out, it was like a drunk uncle going on and on and on. And
Mhm.
it did not. I hope he's okay. The hair,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the haircut was fire. It was needed anyway because I don't know why we crying over dead dreads because them dreads would been done, honey, like broccoli girl. Them been done, honey. Though y'all be holding on to these dreads, girl, they be holding on too.
The thread is thin. The
Girl,
thinnest
period.
thread.
So
I'm
go ahead
glad
and
to
get
see
rid
a
of.
Lamont. I'm glad to see Lamont was showing his work and shades, I guess. So that was a good scene for him.
And obviously, he's been doing this for a little minute, which is actually it made me angry knowing that he's done all of this work, and especially, with semi-celebrities or working for networks and cutting these people's hairs and being part of styling teams. That just lets me know with all that experience that you could have brought a little bit more.
Yeah. And a lot of people say that. When you say a little more though, do you think that he could have been like involved with like had like a say in the drama or like
Some people, again, we have enough drama. I would like if once we have those bulk moments, okay, we already know who's going to bring the drama, then I want to see the other girls bring the chase. And I think with him cutting everyone's hair and him being that guy, there could have been more carry on moments with more of a flair and boom to it.
got you. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
Especially like when he did the calendar shoot in that one episode when he was there with Chloe and Kelly. You said you do an annual calendar. We don't know you in this audience. So y'all should have been flashing through his past photo shoots that he's done before. And then once this photo shoot was done, because it was Valentine's Day, we're in fucking June or whatever, we should have been able to see the finished product of that photo shoot.
Got it,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
give us more. And then is it just you doing Valentine's Day calendar? That's it for that one day with this one model? That lets me believe, if we're really professional here, you had multiple photo shoots for the year.
Yeah.
Or even for Valentine's Day. And you're using this one model I see people at Planet Fitness with better bodies than that. Girl, he's a few cheeseburgers away from looking like melted ice cream. But I still would have served him truth and justice.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. But I agree. I think that we should have seen the final product. But the man does work. He's very, very driven. I think that, and I agree. I think that there was enough drama, but I think that he could have at least made his voice heard a little more when it was with the group interactions. Because
Yeah.
every time, and I think that also happens when you're playing defense. You know, pick a side.
Well, now I know why he probably was hush mouth this entire time, but because he was too busy being busy with other people he shouldn't have been. So if I hush up and play background to your foreground, maybe I don't want to get y'all pissed off because now we know some of the girls know the tea. I don't want them to call it out, and that's in turn going to call out my philandering ways. That's that now that we know what we know, it makes sense because we know she can be messy, honey. Miss Lamisha, honey. When she yelled out that thing about Chloe's balls down to the what were y'all making, girl? Tedley and Mother hosted that thing, girl.
The vision board.
The vision board, girl. He was the balls, kept Chloe's balls. Like he couldn't wait to. So we know that you can have a messy spirit, but I think she dialed it down a little bit because, girl, you have no choice because the girls are gonna tell Roberta Dutchmaster is gonna get angry at you, girl, and then Miss Girlfriend is gonna know your tea. But we'll get into that later. I do think after this scene, we get to Lamont's commercial. This is his second commercial on the platform. Jayla, where are you when we need you? Because in my humble opinion, now I'm not a marketing genius. I don't proclaim to be. But I know what is visually appealing to people, and I know what people will buy. Both commercials, scrap those girls.
Even the fragrance one?
Even the fragrance, girl, I felt like we were going to clean the bathroom. It was giving, let's clean the bathroom, and then him talking to himself in the mirror. It gave, no, I need someone who looks better than you selling your fragrance. I need something else. I don't want to see, because girl, you're not really bodied down. You have a nice body, but it's not giving, it's giving 37, I still work out. You need to have someone else. Like when I did Tika Naturals, I had my nephew being the face of my shit. He also was the voice of my commercial, because like as an owner, sometimes, yeah, I guess, and I have the same critique for Zesty too, like get other people to do your stuff. Because if you're involved in it, you're going to critique it every bit of the way. You're going to think it's the shit. You're going to think it's this. But if you have other people do your things, you can move accordingly and more professionally. Do not be the face of your own brand.
That's a good point. I like that. Yeah, you're very, because then at that point you can direct on how you want things to look.
And it looked like a cleaning commercial. It was giving Scrubbles, what are those little scrubby buddies or whatever those things are?
Yeah, scrub daddies, the scrub daddies.
It's giving fragrance. You need to be in a walk-in closet with mirrors, looking oiled down, fresh out of a shower. You don't need to be in the bathroom in the mirror. You need to be getting ready for something, not fresh. Who the fuck puts on cologne fresh out the shower? Not that anybody.
I wait till the outfit's on, then I put my cologne on.
Exactly. So I think he needs to do better when it comes to marketing. There were multiple people on that he could have contacted. He could have even hit Markel up. I guarantee you it could have been a meeting of minds. Hit up Jayla. She's a content creator. Obviously, some of these girls know what they're doing. Anyway, I don't want to stay on that too. So we get to you and Tedley scene, child. Y'all show up to Chef Messy's alleged restaurant. So I also looked it up.
You did?
I did. And it is a Denny's. It is a subsidy of Denny's Corporation. It definitely, when y'all walked in, if I wouldn't have seen the sign, just the aesthetic alone, I would have thought IHOP or Denny's. A white man actually is the CEO of all of these, and they have several locations throughout. I find it distasteful and irresponsible to leave a platform, claim that you've been changed by God, or you're no longer women's, honey. You no longer deal with the LGBTQ community on that level or partake in the late in the midnight hour sex acts. But you definitely lied when you said that you own and operate a restaurant. You said you took the business card and it said assistant manager.
Yeah, it did. It did. And girl, Tedley is messy for that, honey. Because I was just there to be proud for my friend, the chef. I was there to be proud, and Tedley was like, "Let's Google it." The girl,
you were gagged.
Because let's Google your stuff, honey. Wrong. But yes, unfortunately, I'm thinking that maybe he owned the franchise. You can like Wingstop, for example. You can, you can have your own franchise. I'm thinking that was the case for this situation. But of course, when I got the business card, it said assistant manager. Maybe he's working his way there, but yeah.
But that's contrary to what you told the girls. You said that you own a restaurant.
Yeah.
And you didn't. And my thing was, what was up with this public service announcement that you changed thine ways? And y'all gave him like a 5-second clip of him sitting on this couch in the corner somewhere. I'm sorry. I know I might sound fucked up for saying this, but God ain't out here healing nobody from homosexuality. He said it best himself, and I don't know verbatim, so I'm just gonna put it like this in my own words. Y'all be sitting around here gay as hell, but self-hating at the same time. Because he did say something similar to this, God's not pleasing of my lifestyle. So while you were in the lifestyle, you felt like that God did not love you. God loves everybody, baby. Stop walking in the same likeness as a lot of these sorry-ass Black Christian folks who are going to hell themselves because of the way they live their lives.
Yeah, God, they make it seem like gay.
We wouldn't. I want people to always know this. abominations are things that God does not allow to live or to survive. If that
Mm-hmm.
was the case, we would not be here.
Yeah.
And thank God for the community, because the world will be a dull, boring place. Girl, it's already hell on wheels. Thank God for us for adding a little sprinkle of life.
Yeah, and I agree, girl. I don't. You can't be delivered. Let's be real. If you're really, really gay, bisexual, even you could claim. I'm sure because I do know that he likes girls. I do know that. You can just say that you're bisexual, but I think maybe it's something that he doesn't want his family to see. It could be many reasons.
You
But
don't
I
want
do
nobody
know.
to see it, but you had a whole Twitter of you getting on all fours, eating and chomping down on Dioc. And I hope you ain't using them people's bathroom down to the Kikis to redo those videos.
Well, it was a gas station that he did those videos at. So.
My thing is to live your life, own who you are, and love yourself first. Y'all being on a serious note, I know I just shaded that boy, but like to be comfortable in your own skin is already hard enough. But to sit here and move in such a way where the world is basically controlling you like a puppet, that is weird to me. And that was, I would not have even shown him on the show because I feel like that sends a bad message too. Like God's not pleased with me. That means you are a self-hating gay man. You sat around here and you don't think God loves you because you're gay. Now you're speaking that same hateful rhetoric on a pro-LGBTQ platform? No, ma'am.
Yeah, he's now a content creator for Jesus. So
Jesus sells, but you got to be like Juanita Bynum and start scamming the girls and making them feel like trash in the church to give $1,000 per head down to your congregation.
okay.
Actually, with his throat skills, he needs to get back to Twitter.
He could make a cute coin.
Honey, yes, he could. Honey, you better, those celebrities that you were cooking for, you could, trust me, if they saw what you can do with that thorough, honey, they'll hire you to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner and serve a little thorough on the side.
Hello, it's like the massage with a happy ending. Let's make you a dinner with a happy ending, honey.
Let me tell you, the way he was serving, I was like, all right now.
Look at you, look at you.
I'm coming to Dallas, bitch. I want next. Look at old
Hello,
nasty piece of vacuum cleaner, honey.
girl. Them two. You're. Child.
Yeah, mom, that's a goat right there, honey. Okay.
Okay.
Period. So you and Tedley are sitting down, and I just want to say this too. I know you watched the reviews.
Yes.
Before we get into y'all in this scene, where do you feel that? Because something else was told to me after the fact. Because now that I know that you and him had a private conversation prior to the season starting. Outside of that conversation, did you ever feel like there really should be some type of loyalty, type of relationship between you and Tedley?
No. When we started, I know that before we started filming, I know that me and him, it was always ups and downs. Like, he'll have his friend, I'll have Sean, and me and Sean were clowning him last year.
Okay.
And so coming into this year, we didn't have a sit down before the pink party where I said, clean slate, girl. Forget what we did in the past. Moving forward, since me and you know that we're gonna be in a group of new people, at least me and you are familiar faces, let's have each other's back and start scratch. Loyalty is here. And that's where I was going based off of that.
Okay.
Anything that happened before that, we're not accounting for it. And I
Okay.
think that that's what the people are seeing, like, well, girl, last year you did this. I'm going based on of that. Now, what I will say is now looking at because I was upset with him meeting up with Donnie when he first met Donnie, and I would say looking back, he did not let Donnie say this stuff. He actually said, "Well, I don't believe Jett said this." Kelly kind of had my back in that space, but
Okay.
me only knowing that you even met up with the ops, I'm going best up for that. I don't know what
Right.
you said, so I was already pissed. Like, girl, okay, whatever, I don't care. So I do think that Telly should be given grace. At least he did have my back a little bit. I know you've been dragging my name for the loyalty things.
Yeah. Because I didn't know that piece until much later on, obviously. But I'm just thinking in my head like that we 3, 4, 5, 6 times now. when we refer to the past seasons, I'm just like, girl, like you can't expect this man to be loyal. And there, you and Sean were keying on his time. You know what I'm saying? Which is rightfully so, because girl,
Yeah.
Tedley, you're an open read, and every time with these fake chases and you trying to, calm the girls on what's really happening, it's just another person that adds no real value to the show. So I could kind of get it, why.
Yeah.
But okay, but now you're in the space of y'all have moved forward. We catch you in the scene catching up. And one of the things in your conversation that really struck with me was Rio and Zesty claiming that y'all as the elders of the show should have been helping guide them and promote them. And I gotta go back to what I always say, before the girls get on the shows, especially the ones that want to be on the show, that lets me know you've watched prior seasons of this particular platform. So that should always be your guide first into what not to do when you get your ass on a show and what you should be doing when you get your ass on a show.
Right, exactly.
So I don't think it's you and Ted Lee's responsibility to hold the girl's hand when, especially as much shit as they pop.
Yeah.
Y'all got it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that that comment should have never been made to me. I support the girls. Everyone, honestly. Chloe, when she gave me the shirt at my pink party, what I do, I wore it to sit down with Donnie. I booked Rio for the, Valentine thing. I bought Lamont with his fragrance, which you're gonna see I bought it. I supported the girls in so many ways. So for him to make that comment, I don't even another reason to come for me. Um, I made the group chat. The girls have been open to, you can come to me if you need help, advice, let me know. But the girls wanted to pick at me instead of coming for me to advice. So, girl,
Yeah.
I would say though, Telly, I don't think Telly showed up for as much as I did for these girls, but I'm getting all the backlash. So I never understood that.
I can see that. Now looking back at this season, I think the only person that he really collaborated with the most was Mother.
Yeah.
That's kind of it, really. I think everybody had their own moment with him, but on a more consistent basis, it was just Mother, to be honest. And that wasn't even the likeness of actual support. It was just conversations that y'all was having, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I never understood that comment. Moving forward, you're gonna still see that these girls still feel like that.
Now, you and Ted Lee coming up with the event that you guys were talking about in this scene, personally as a viewer, when we see these come to Jesus moments with the cast, they don't always play out well. I did see there were, at the Valentine's Day party, I know Jayla tried, with the going around the room and say this about a person. And I think we saw it in Ted Lee and Mother's event as well. Knowing that there isn't a good history there with trying to just lay it out on the table, why would that be something y'all be interested in doing?
And trying to make peace. That always happens. We try to do it, never works.
Were you guys able to do that event though? Will we see that or no?
No. Well, I don't know. It never worked. I mean, I did something at the end.
Okay.
No, it wasn't collaborated with anybody. It was just me.
Okay.
And that was I would just say one last hurrah, I will say, that I wanted to do with the group. I wanted to be positive, but I will say that not everyone showed up. You'll see who didn't.
Okay. Okay.
But I do want to point out that was something I mainly wanted to do, from even the skating rink where no one showed up, to I'm trying to talk to Telly to set something up, to where now I do something else for them. So I think that I tried. It was just that these girls didn't want to do it.
Can I ask you this question? When it came down to your skating ring event, I felt like these girls show up to everything else, even if it's just a couple of them. Do you feel like that was purposeful to make you look crazy?
I don't. I don't know. Everyone had a good reason that day. I will say, no one gave me like I'm sick. Everyone actually texted me with good, valid reasons. Number one, it was far away. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but everyone did have valid reasons. Now, do I think that they came together and let's make him look crazy? Could be possible how these girls play, but I don't think that that was the case in this situation.
Okay. Did Mother actually join? We only saw Mother outside as if she was waiting for you. Did she ever go inside? Did y'all even do anything? Or
So no, well, when she came, she stayed outside. Well, she came in just say hi to production and then went back outside. Because at that time, me and her were not seeing eye to eye, and I was like, whatever. I'm waiting for everybody else to get here. You know, I'm not really fond of you here. The fact that you're the only one that showed up and we're at odds is insane. But
and she wasn't even dressed to skate.
she didn't even dress 80s.
Yeah, she didn't even just drove out there for camera time.
Yeah, I guess.
I just
Yeah.
feel like too, if people are supposed to be somewhere, if the production is there, that means the emails were sent out. Maybe this was part of the storyboard. We already knew. We need people to be showing up to these events. I'm sorry, like it's
Yeah.
that's what I go back to. I think there needs to be a conversation in the very immediate future about compensation and really ironclad contracts and
Yeah.
people really taking this shit seriously if they want to see themselves actually get something from the platform, both from the production and ownership side, but also from the cast member side. When I
Hmm.
look at things like Love and Hip Hop and I see that only like K Michelle and Cardi B were like some of the only two people that I can remember that made something of those platforms to further themselves later on. I get a little sad sometimes because I'm just like, I never, outside of the show itself, I never get a chance to see my people on a stage greater than the ones that I met them at, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I definitely think that that would have been a great moment because that moment would have been a heartfelt moment. I was trying to recreate something from when we had like the Kiki Ball, where we all laughed. It was a great
Yeah.
time. Whether we had issues in the past, we still came together and it was a heartfelt moment. And that's what I was trying to recreate with that. Didn't happen, so that's why we stayed negative throughout the whole freaking time.
Yeah. And it shows through the season. It's
Yeah,
unfortunate because I felt like this really could have been something greater. Um, but I think it takes very real people to admit very real things about themselves that they're not just ready to do yet. Um,
hmm,
a Rachel or a Glenn or a Mother or, Mother just better be lucky that we did need some drama. We did need a bone carrier, and she did it pretty well. Like, I have my things to say about that kind of stuff, but she just better be lucky she played that role pretty decent,
yeah.
Because on 1 minute I'm with her, and then the next one I'm like, we can just get rid of her. But really, we kind of needed that messy buffer, you know?
Yeah, we did. We did from
Yeah.
Lester.
So when it comes down to the name thing, you brought that up. I wasn't even thinking on that level, but now that you brought it up, do you the multitudes of people are really upset that a lot of y'all just won't call Mother by Mother when you want people to call you, for instance, Jeff, which technically that's not your biological name. I know your name is Jeffrey Reyes. I do know that.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't hide from that. But my take on it was in our community, and I think this is what a lot of people's perspectives might be. You can tell me if I'm wrong. But Mother in our community is looked at as a status symbol or the queen, the supreme, the girl of the ball. Like that is something that not everyone is going to be comfortable with just talking to anybody, like calling anybody mother on that level. Is that how you take that as well?
Yeah, yeah, and I think at that moment he had just did his live dragging my name, so I'm like, I didn't look at it how people are looking at like respect her, like um the way I was looking at it, like this is my get back to this girl.
Okay.
I can't speak for anybody else that we're not trying to call her mother. My reason was because she was on, and that's another thing. Like, I hate when people are combining my thoughts and why I'm reciprocating energy
Okay.
because these other two people feel that way. Like, no, stop. Me, I am doing this because this bitch was on live talking shit about me. And so, what other way to get back at this bitch than like, you know what? You don't like me. I heard that Kelly was calling you out by your name. Why not be that snidey bitch and like, okay, well, I'm gonna come back and say your real name. So now we're gonna address this guy as Lester. That is why I did that. As you can see now, this whole interview, I called her mother. You know, I respect calling people their name, but at that time, come for you. And what other way than this is what you didn't want to share? Well, I'll share with them, and that's Lester.
No, hey, I'm see, and that's classic Jett Jeff that the girls need to kind of get into because he gonna stand in how he feel about something. Okay?
Hello.
Period. Period. That's just how that goes.
Yes.
We already talked about Chloe and the car. Again, now knowing what you know, do you feel bad about kind of being shady towards, her in the car situation?
Oh, Chloe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never easy to have somebody have especially this big allegation against you, because now being kicked out from clubs, that's big, and I think that that's in a way that can affect your pockets. Me personally, it would be affecting my pockets because that's a scene where I am always at, and so I think for her too. So I think that it was hurtful to see her going through that. At the time, I did take it as a key because is to me it was a key. Now looking back and see how it did affect her, it was hurtful. But if the bitch ever comes for me, I just know that stop stealing cars. Hey,
She's in the chat too. What's up, Chloe girl? How you doing, honey?
Chloe, and that's fine, girl.
Yes.
That girl has a mouth on her. Because I've seen her interview with you, girl. She needs to watch that mouth because reunion. Let's keep that same energy, mamas.
Look here, I do look forward to the reunion. It's a lot. I didn't really realize this though, and when you count the cast, I'm like, how is this even gonna look?
Yeah,
Are you ready for the reunion? Are you?
I'm very ready. Like I said, I personally am going to start doing reviews. Like I want to do a review on Orlando, even
Okay.
Housewives. I think I love Housewives. So I think my first thing starting on my channel, I want to review from episode 1 to 12, give my thoughts. Reunion ready. I don't know if Portia has her own YouTube, and I like that she reviews the episodes too on from her perspective.
I don't. Ever since Portia and Phaedra pulled that foolishness on Candy Birds that one season,
Mm.
I've excommunicated those hoes from my experience.
Well, not Phaedra. Portia recently started her channel, and she's doing reviews after each episode. And she actually just did one to talk about like how she's preparing for the reunion. And I want to do a cute little video explaining my thoughts on episode 1 to the finale and how I'm getting ready for reunion. I am ready. Um,
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready for all these girls to come at my neck, how they did all season long. And I definitely feel like our bets are off the table.
Is there anybody you feel you need to address?
Very much so. A lot of them. I think like majority, except maybe 3 people.
Where are you and Roberta Dutchmaster now in your relationship?
We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in a good standing. I love Robert.
Okay.
Now
Because I heard
Roberta
y'all had a
Dutch.
little back and forth recently on the live. Was
Did
that your
we?
after show?
Oh, my after show. Yes, because he. What I was saying was like he had his time and my time is now. Because I was one of the remaining that came back, and he took an offense to that. We've had a conversation since then. Um, but I love Robert. That's my big brother. He has my back and I have his. And like I said, I think that friendships have its ups and downs. I think this communication was important to be had.
Okay. All right.
I see
This guy.
Harviana in the chat. Hey, Harvey girl.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's difficult for me to see everything. I got my other phone looking down when I can, but thank y'all for coming, and I do appreciate it. I know Harviana, y'all are going live. Actually, I went a little over on my time. I apologize, but the Kiki panel should be going on right now, or if she's updated the time or not. But please make sure y'all go over there and love on the Kiki panel, honey. Okay. A few more
Yes.
things I want to run through with you. I really don't see the need to bring up Rachel's party. It's just another regurgitation of Chloe stealing his car. And
Yeah.
Were you even invited to the party?
I was, but that was a late night, and I work early mornings, baby.
Okay, I hear
So
you.
it was during the week, and I couldn't make it, but I did send my. Oh, I think she felt some type of way. I remember now. She did feel some type of way that I didn't go. So you'll see that I think on the next episode.
Okay, well, she'll be.
Yeah.
In my opinion, she got bigger fish to fry now, honey.
Hello.
And then there was that scene, Chloe, where she gave her explanation on what happened. I totally believe it. I think a lot of things were lost in translation, which I don't know how that's possible because if we're all seeing the same show and we're seeing this scene play out, I think Chloe pretty much explained it to the T and, you know, why she should not be receiving this backlash. Um, and she claims that she was banned from the club for just trashing and coming at the owner of that establishment. And rightfully so, if you guys are trying to put something on me, which again, based on the firsthand evidence that was provided, anybody would assume that you were in on this too. But now
Yeah.
when we have the retraction of statement, there's understanding. The girl is actually showing up again to the club. Why would she have stole something and then show up some? You know, it just
Yeah.
I totally believe her explanation. And Chloe, you said that was your dad or your gay son. I just want to know what's happening because that's my type. In the words
Hello.
of Mariah Carey's new song, "Type Dangerous," honey. Like, let your father. I don't mind. I don't mind, honey. I love dads, honey. Hello, God.
I don't mind being a stepmama, Chloe. Hey.
Let me. I'm just saying though, honey, because he is fine. He said he like to play Fortnite and shit. I like the game too. Hello, God. So you tell your daddy that mother's in town.
Okay.
Period,
He was
honey.
good looking, man. She was good looking.
He was definitely, and she has another person too. I'm like, all right, honey, like child, all right, finally, because speaking of boo thing, are you still with what's his name?
Bryson.
Bryson.
This is actually the necklace he gave me for Valentine's Day.
Oh.
We're honestly working things out. But hopefully it works out. But if not, then I'll be okay. I'll still wear the necklace because it's cute.
Question: did you see my review on when you did that scene with your friend?
Oh, yes.
You saw my review.
Yeah. So
Was my breakdown accurate, or was I nowhere near close?
you were pretty accurate.
Okay.
Um, and the thing with him, so he did OnlyFans, you know.
Okay. Okay. I thought I knew it from. I'm just playing. I'm just
But see, the
playing.
thing is, he didn't do content with other. It would be solo content.
Okay.
That was what, because I was debating, like, do I want to do someone that does OnlyFans? And my go-to would be no.
So hold on. For someone to only do solo content, they must really have a big ego.
He had the big.
And that has to be a selling point. So that lets me know because all the solo content I see on my dirty Twitter timeline, it's pretty big.
It's a nice size.
Okay. Come on now.
It's I mean, I've been back 5 times.
Oh, you, and I said that to I said, child, the ping must be pinging, girl, because she's coming back like a boomerang, honey. Okay.
Okay, I tried to work it out, but I think this is the last time. If it doesn't work out, then I'm good. But like,
If it's solo content, what's the problem? You just don't want anybody else seeing him, or
no. So I don't. So he doesn't do it anymore. But if he
okay,
did,
okay.
if
Oh,
he
this
did,
is a,
if it, yeah, it was something in the past. If he still did it, I mean, go for it. If you're gonna be spending half of that check on me, hello. But he doesn't do it anymore.
okay.
Yeah, no,
So
man.
at this point, not to get in your business, child, you can tell me to fuck off all day long. What's the issue now?
So, no, I'm open to it. So let me get into the things, girl. So the premiere of the Chasing Dallas, we went. So the premiere of Chasing Dallas, we went to the movies, and of course, it was my day. I brought him there, and 'cause the screening of the premiere was at the theater, and we had a whole photo shoot. I have a photos that we took together that we're gonna post online, and then I had to go to Mexico the next day. Apparently, he saw Tinder on my phone. I don't use the app anymore. It's like an app that I just haven't deleted. You can I click the app and like have to sign in because I haven't used it.
Right, right.
He didn't ask me at the moment, so he assumed that I'm on the app. So I go to Mexico. I have him on Snapchat, but he doesn't have me added back. And so I saw that he was on a date with somebody, and he covered their face. So the same picture he posted on Snapchat, he posted on Instagram, but it was more cropped than it was on Snapchat. And so the whole time I'm in Mexico, I'm not gonna dress. I'm over here having a good time. Fuck that. I will dress when I come back to the States. So when I got back, I told him, "How was your date?" He said, "What are you talking about? Now you want to talk to me?" Because the whole time on my trip, I did not talk to him. Like, get the hint. And then I asked him 3 times, and then the third time I said, "I have proof that you were on a date." Like, because he denied it every single time I asked him about it. And then the last time when I sent him the proof, he was like, "Okay, I'll admit I was on a date." Like, really? You could have just told me the first time?
So were
And
y'all broken up?
no, we were dating.
So, okay, what is the basis? What is the foundation of your relationship? Is there an understanding? Because why would he feel, even if you guys are arguing real quick, but you haven't been broken up or anything, why would he feel free to go on a date with somebody?
That's what I wanted to know too, right? Because we had conversation about being serious. I said, "I don't want you making me looking stupid out here because if you're over
Oh,
here
so
on
you
the
guys weren't official.
no, we were dating, so like we're
Okay.
exclusive to we're like don't talk to anybody, but like
Oh,
and so yeah, but we had a serious conversation about like don't make me look stupid. I like you. I like how things are going. The feelings are growing. We're in a good path, and I'm not talking to anybody. But he said the reason why he went on a date is because he saw Grinder Tinder on my phone, and he didn't even ask me. He assumed that I'm on the app.
hmm.
And I said, you could have asked me and I would have told you I don't. At the moment, you should have asked me. I would have opened it up for you and I said I don't use it. And so we're working on that. I'm still trying to work out with him, but after that, it just doesn't feel the same.
Ah.
I used to get butterflies talking to him. Now it's like
Mm.
I'm it's like well, I hope he's not watching this, but
Well, sometimes in relationship, not even that though, like you can eventually your spirit gets tired of trying to prove your love or your want for somebody. You said you've been back how many times, and
yeah.
eventually you get tired. Your inner self gets tired of it before your outer self does, because we'll still be lusting over the sex, okay?
Oh,
But
hello.
deep down inside, I really kind of lost how I felt for you because all of the back and forth and the lack of trust, and I just think too, I want to see y'all. Y'all look great together. I don't know the man, but if y'all want to make it work, there just needs to be more communication and being upfront. Don't let something fester because, like you said, it was just all you had to do was say something. We could have saved all that energy and that time. Like, why? So,
Literally, and another thing was just like you lied to my face twice before I showed you proof that I knew you were on a date. Like that was my biggest thing too. Like now moving forward, I don't even know if I can trust you as I did before that. So,
is
but
he
yeah,
in? Is he? He's obvious. He's on the shows. We saw him, and his face wasn't blurred out. So he's open in the community. He's not down low trade or nothing like that.
no, he's open. He's very
Okay,
open.
very open.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope it works out with y'all.
Thank you.
Y'all seem happy, but if you've lost the butterflies, he's gonna have to work hard to get it back.
Yeah,
He's
and
gonna have.
you can't whip me with that dick anymore.
Oh, girl, I don't know that. Now. Let me tell you, girl, I'm a sucker for that. Okay, let me tell you, child, that's the way to throw the line out there and pull me back in, honey. Because now I may not love you no more, but see that there's this piece of trade I've been dealing with for like 2 years, and
Uh-huh.
I have no feelings for him whatsoever. But honey, when Daddy come up in here with that Dog, honey, Mama, listen. Okay, I listen. Okay. Now, before we get out of here, you can stay for this. You can go for this. I don't know what kind of time you have because I know that I went over, but I did promise the people that I was going to go ahead and have this conversation about what went down with Rachel. Because this episode, yeah, we talked about the whole episode. It's over with at this point. I wanted to get into the Rachel, Lamont, and Roberta Dutchmaster situation. So, do you want to stay for that, or do you want to bow out gracefully?
About gracefully.
Okay.
'Cause my friends have been texting me to talk about Sunday Fun Day, but I do want to touch on the subject. Really just briefly. I knew nothing of this until I saw the live. I was gagged and gooped just like the audience was, right? And I hope that it's a form of loyalty, right? Like, especially how Rachel was talking about what Robert is to her. I think that you definitely should have laced up your. I think she called him her daddy. I don't know. You definitely should have laced him up about that. Um, but girl, yeah, like you said, maybe. And now looking at that happened, now I'm going to look back at the scenes when we were all together and see how they're navigating. Because if that's the case, we should be addressing this at the reunion.
Did you catch, and are you watching the season playback though?
Yeah, yeah,
Have you caught those brief moments where Kelly was getting a little pissed off about that?
yeah.
Now I see why. Was she one of the people that knew about it too?
Oh.
Because every time though Kelly would be mad, oh, you know he got a wife, you know he got a girlfriend, you know, and she would take that personally. And I always thought it's because she has a man and she don't want no one doing that to her. But now when this came out, it made me think about it because they're not trying to name the people that were at that table after the premiere where Rachel revealed this to Mother. Mother said there were other people at the table. So
Yeah.
because of the early vitriol that Kelly was feeling about, it made me think, was Kelly one of the ones that was aware and she just kind of kept it tucked away? But girl,
Now, I will say at the table where Mother heard it at, I was at the table. But when I heard it, because I didn't know anything about Taco Tuesday or anything like that. When
uh,
everybody in the cast thinks Lamont is fine, even me.
he's all
Attractive man.
right.
Yeah, attractive man. So everyone on the cast said, "Oh, he's fine." We all say that. So when I heard Rachel saying that, "Oh yeah, we did it," I'm hearing it as a key or whatever. Like I'm thinking none of it because we all always say, "Girl, yeah, like the mom can get it." I'm thinking of it that way. Now looking at the context, like, wait a minute, girl, you think for real? So I just wanted to clear that up because I know Robert probably thinks that I knew about the whole situation. I just knew that when I heard it at that dinner, I'm thinking it was a key, nothing serious. Looking back, the bitch was serious.
And seeing the scene for the next episode with Lamont and his girlfriend, it put more into context. And I said, you know what, girl, girl, Markel, I feel like you're a genius and you knew what you were doing because the fact that you took this live, put it on your network page on YouTube during the same moment we're about to get into the drama for next episode.
And
That's
who's to say that didn't play out on the season?
oh,
I'm about all gracefully. I will say, YB, you're amazing. We did this a year ago. I think that, we had to do it again. It's
yes,
always a great time with you, Boo. I love your videos. As you know, I always leave comments. I love you. I
yes.
love Cass. Harvey is hilarious. I love all the reviewers out there. Thank you for continuing supporting the show and supporting us. And I never take anything offense, girl. If you need to read me down about something, do it.
You know me.
No, no, no,
You
no, you
know me.
will. But I just want one thing I want the cast to take away is give the reviewers grace because they're only reviewing what we give them. So if you want to clear your name, do what I did today. Do this. Don't be shy. Don't think that you need to get checked for this because again, we're building our brand. This is the chase that we signed up for, and I think the girls should be doing this.
Amen.
So
Thank you. And
yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, stay tuned y'all for my video. I'm gonna be reviewing the season soon before the reunion. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. And I have enough subscribers to do that, unlike
Send me
someone else.
send me the links to everything so that I can put it in the description box in this video. And
Okay.
I can also help promote your situation as well, too, as well as your music and any other projects you have going on, okay?
Okay, period. Will do, IB. Well, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much, Boo. Take care.
You too.
Bye. Girl, yes, honey. So that was the live review. I appreciate y'all for staying tuned. I apologize. I know y'all need to get to the Kiki panel. So do I. But before we go, I have a clip to play and I have a little bit of commentary to give, and then we will get the hell up out of here, okay? Girl. So while we're doing all of this, honey, y'all continue to like, comments, share, subscribe, all the things, girl. We're going to get into it, honey. Now, this is a little piece. I was not going to do the entire thing. I don't have that kind of time. And by this moment in time, y'all are already aware. TTB done covered it. Harviana done had a conversation or two about it. Other people have talked about it as well too, honey. So I don't think I need to get all into the entirety of the live, but this is the moment that it encompasses everything needed, required, and desired to get into, okay? So here is a little bit of that clip from the live, honey, where Roberta Dutchmaster addresses Rachel, hello God, about her being a messy hoe and sleeping with Lamont, knowing that he got a girl and knowing that that is Roberta Dutchmaster's ex. Okay, girl, please.
I'm really kind of at you.
Why? What happened?
And I've been waiting. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody kept telling me not to go there. But no shade, I'm really kind of at you. You really, you did some hoe ass shit. You did some hoe ass shit. And for you to be my wifey, I wouldn't expect it to you. And then I asked you about something. This is going to tell you about the situation without breaking the fourth wall. I asked you about something the night of your after show, and you lied to me in my face, and I didn't respect that. You know what I'm saying? And
wait,
the after show, when you came to my house, right? And you lied to me in my face about something, drunk or not. And now that it's coming out, it's like, bitch. Girl, you did some hoe ass shit, right? So like, I'm my mama, you did some hoe ass shit. And if you wasn't my wifey, I probably would have sent somebody away to touch you. Like, I'm my mama.
Oh,
like,
can we get elaborate? We can't elaborate on that. That sounds interesting. And elaborate, Rob. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was some hoe ass shit. Especially after I told y'all who that was and everything. You deliberately went and did some shit. Like, but I asked you that. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, Rachel. No, the fuck it wasn't, fam. No, the fuck it wasn't, Rachel. Rachel, do not piss me off, fam, because it wasn't. I got the timeline. I got everything. So we gonna be real. Let's be real. Like, let's be real. And I shouldn't have to ask that person when I already asked you the shit. I already asked you, so I shouldn't have to ask that person or anybody else come to me about it when I asked you directly, Rachel. And I've been holding you down with every motherfucking thing you do. When you asked me for something, I would have swung on you. I would have beat up anybody that you said. You know I'm coming behind you. And for you, out of anybody else to handle me like that, Rachel, it was fucked up. And I'm be real with you. Like, it was fucked up.
That was after the fact. But even though you did ask me
about this shit, bro. Like, what do you mean? Whenever it was, my nigga, it shouldn't have happened. My nigga, what the fuck you mean?
That was deep. That was way before I even know y'all even had history.
That's not true, Rachel. You a motherfucking lie. Because I told everybody the night of Taco Tuesday. I told everybody. You was sitting right there. Everybody knew that. So that's a lie. The whole cast knows. That's why everybody's into right now to be 100 with you because you did some whole ass shit. So let's be real. Let's not be fake on this shit, Rachel. Let's not be fake. That's gonna piss me out. That's gonna take it somewhere else. That's gonna take it somewhere else. So let's not do that. Because I'm being honest with you. I'm being genuine with you right now. You know what I'm saying? You knew that because everybody knew that shit the night of Taco Tuesday. Production, cast, everybody. That's why everybody is looking at it like, why would you do some whole ass shit like that? Because everybody knew. And you can't say that, my nigga. You can't blame it on drugs. You can't blame it on alcohol. You can't blame it on none of this shit.
I'm not blaming it on nothing.
Okay then. So just own that shit. I would prefer you to own that shit and say, you know what? You right. You know what I'm saying? I was wrong.
I'm gonna call you afterwards. I'm gonna call you after this.
Let's
so
do that.
We can have an understanding of what my position was in that.
Well, I tried to give you that understanding at first before anybody else came to me, Rachel, and you told me that it wasn't that you just made up some shit. That's what you told me. So don't play with me, Rachel. Like, I tried to give you that before anybody else. Before
okay, I give you that. I give you that.
Yes, like, be real, nigga. Come on, you know, that fucked me up out of anybody, and I don't even give a fuck about it. You know I don't care. You know, I don't give a fuck, but it's the principle. You play me close, and I don't like that.
No shade. And I apologize for that and everything. No shade for that part. Okay. But also, I'm happy. Me as a person, like, I'm an NDA type of girl and everything and whatnot, and I'm not the type of person to like air somebody else's business.
But you can't say that because you went and told how I got out is you went and told mother, and mother went and told everybody else.
Mother.
The fuck is you mean? Well, you tell. Well, how is mother expressing it to everybody else? Who you tell other than mother then? Because mother's the one that told us and everybody else, and that's what made me go back and ask. Mother is the reason that I even asked you because I told you that then. I said mother. You said I just told her. And you lying, Rachel, because you told me I gave her. You said I told her something. I just made up something that ain't true and that out of this because I asked you in reference about a video. That's where it first came from. If you want to be real, and you said no, I didn't record none of that. That was
a lie. I was lying about the video because
but you said that part, but you didn't tell me the real in reference to what actually happened. The actual part of the question that I asked you.
But the video part was definitely a lie.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So you told mother something. You just said you told mother something.
First of all, I don't know mother at all. So therefore,
why would you tell her anything and then lie to me in my face? Somebody that's loyal to you.
Okay, I should have told you the real tea of it, but with mother,
that's the point. That's what I'm asking you. Like, what?
Mother gonna like stir up some stuff, so therefore I'm not gonna tell her.
Right, so you gave them the opportunity to do it. You gave them the opportunity to do it when you went to them and not came to me. What do you mean? Whoever, even if you didn't tell mother, whoever you told on this cast, you gave them the opportunity to be able to run with that shit and stir it up and do it just out here. And I gave you when I first heard it. I came to you before I went to anybody else, my nigga, and you lied to me, Rachel.
Okay.
Real nigga shit. It's okay. That's all it is. And I didn't want to go here. I was going to address this to you face to face because I felt like we had that much respect. But to be real with you,
we'll talk more into details of it and everything because a lot of stuff that mother has, because now that you just now, because this is the first time I'm hearing that mother is the one that's running around saying that and everything. I'm like, okay, now it's like everybody coming at me about it.
Yes, everybody's going to come at you about it because everybody's looking at you like, what the fuck?
I'm like,
everybody's like, it's out there.
There's no video. and everything, but things did happen. But from
We know
my
things
understanding, it
happen.
was
I
supposed
know
to be a key.
I know from his mouth.
Yeah.
Deception, disgrace, deception, disgrace. Girl, you are a horror. You are the girls. Hello, God. You are the girl in the dictionary that everyone is warned about. Hello, God. You look whore. Hello, God. Deception, disgrace. You look up deception and disgrace in Webster's dictionary. There's a picture of Rachel before she did her makeup. Why would you, first of all, this is a gag in itself. Why would you get on live in the bonnet and you still laying in bed and shit, freshly fucked? Hello, God. Someone's man was in that bed with you. Get yourself together, girl, because like Rachel with no makeup, it's giving ET phone home. Elliot, bitch, it's giving ET. Is my finger glowing, bitch? It's giving ET phone home. And they didn't answer. Bitch, return to sender, girl. The broccoli is done. Period. Because I give you your props. It's so crazy when the girls tear down their makeup. Girl. It's So I'm actually on, Robert's side in this matter. My thing is this: if we look at relationships, period, right? Social groups, I'm quite sure, and also because it seems as if there's no love lost between Lamont and Robert, that even before this season, they were probably still hanging out or talking in some social capacity. If Rachel is indeed, if E.T. phoning home is indeed my play wife, you've earned that status because of our closeness. That means you probably know everyone else in my social group too. And if you don't know, because Dallas is but so small from what I hear in terms of social gatherings, y'all probably saw a bitch walking in the club. Oh, hey, I just want to let you know, I used to date him. The conversation more than likely happened way before you got on this season. And if it didn't, well, it's very low that that didn't happen, but I'm quite sure it did happen. Okay? Second of all, from what we gather from Mother's mouth, hello God, is that at the premiere of Chasing Dallas, mind you, season's already been shot, filmed, edited, everything. Other than being uploaded in the queue, child, because we got to be waiting hours and hours and hours, and girl, y'all don't get no flowers for being late like that, okay? But we know that if there is a premiere at some point, now confessionals may not be completely done. We know that's always an issue, but we know the season is pretty much wrapped up. Rachel sat there and told Mother, and allegedly other people were at the table. Mother will not name these people, but I do believe that it might have been Kelly, because Mother said that it was a cast member and a friend of the show. I wonder who the friend of the show is, because there seems to be a lot of those. So I'm betting it was Kelly had to have been one of those people. Because when we look at those little moments, like I said with Jeff earlier, there are moments throughout the season where Kelly is basically in her feels about the idea that someone keeps calling Lamont their husband or their boyfriend or their man. And then when we see that little scene between Lamont and his girlfriend for the next episode, and like I said, Markel's a genius, girl, because to tie all of that in right before that episode, girl, it also gives. Did y'all plan this? Because don't make us reviewers and bloggers look stupid. Was this planned? Is this deception and disgrace in our face? Child, now that I think about it. And if you hear in the clip and throughout the live, Robert cites Taco Tuesday. So again, at the premiere, that means that scene was already shot. He lets the girls know what's tea. And from Taco Tuesday, it's being alleged that that night, someone was taken to Pound Town. Hello, God. Rachel. You are a whore. And if you look at her behavior, her responses in the entire live, the fact that she's taking fake accountability, it's fake. She doesn't mean it. She doesn't care. She's not trying to understand. She's trying to actually backpedal and try to find a back door to get out of it. And Roberta Dutchmaster is not going for it. I would never go as far as sending someone to go touch someone, because, you know, Robert said the same thing about me, girl. Robert is one of them old thug daddies who, I'll send someone to get you. It sounds real mob-like, girl. Ain't nobody. Girl, what? It was a fairy. What you gonna send a fairy girl, a fairy godmother? Hello, God, to kill the wicked witch of the West? Bitch, you're crazy. Bitch, okay, period, girl. Now, you can send someone to go touch E.T. so they can phone home, Elliot. Hello, God, get on your magic bike, bitch. Hello, God, and put her in the carriage and wrap her up in a towel with some saran wrap. But, girl, I will never be able to fuck with someone who actively pursues someone that they know I've had a relationship with, or they're currently in my ex that I'm still cool with is in a 4-year relationship with someone, with a woman at that. How do you think, first of all, let's add a little bit of balance here, because you know me. Welcome to the Court of Truth and Justice. Since this topic has been brought up, no one is addressing the real issue, which is Lamont. It takes two to tango. I highly doubt E.T. phoned her way home to get a date rape drug and dragged. She doesn't even she has the strength the size of a mustard seed, let alone the strength to drag Lamont's big ass and put him in the trunk and then take him home to have her way with him. So there's a mutual understanding with these two that, yeah, I'm about to cheat on my girl, and I don't give a fuck who Robert is to you. I'm going to fuck you, bitch. Let's tell the truth. This video ain't getting monetized for all this cussing and shit, so y'all turn up to the super chats and the donate honey, because we going there tonight, bitch. Tell the truth. You sat here, Lamont. See, we're putting all the blame on Rachel. She ain't the only disloyal cunt here. Hello, God. It's also Lamont who know he got a whole girlfriend. So is that why in the scene, if you trying to bottle up your car spray, hello, God, that your kitchen spray girl, that homegirl feels unloved? We haven't communicated. Where have you been lately? Where is my man? Were you feeling guilty or while you're laying up with Rachel? Are you the nigga that she couldn't get out of her house because you couldn't go home to face your wife? Hello, God. And Rachel, we're going to bring it back to you just real quick. You sat here and told this business, but in the same breath, that lie that I just pulled that clip from, you have the nerve to say that you're an NDA type of girl. Obviously you're not. Like Robert called you out, bitch. And he said, and I quote, you obviously are not an NDA girl because you told mother. You wanted this to get out. What did you think? Are you that hung up and delusional, girl, that you probably thought, well, it's not. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle this fairy dust of tea real quick. Let it get out in hopes that it pisses Lamont's girl off so much that she leaves, and now I can make room in the dresser for my things. Was that your hope? Because the way you carried on about this man, this wasn't just a one-time thing. You carried on. Now that we know the eyes can see the glory, bitch. The sun is out. It is a new day. We can see clearly now the rain is gone. Throughout this season, when you ever catch Rachel, the way that she would talk about Lamont, this is not a one-time thing. Ain't no dick that good that has you sprung on the first time. Y'all have been doing and hooing throughout this season. Girl, if y'all don't address this at the reunion, I might have to pop up on a magic carpet, bitch. A whole new world. Yes, honey, a brand new fantastic point of view brought to you by yours truly, YB Speaks Truth and serving justice on that ass. Because, girl, y'all got to address this. Now, Roberta Dutchmaster has no choice but to show up to the reunion. And Rachel, it's being said that's why the cast is not messing with you because of your philandering ways. Well, if that's the case, we need to also put some of this blame, if not half of this blame, on Lamont's ass too. Stop over here like I just did with my contradicting ass, sitting over here talking about how much of a whore she is without also highlighting how much of a whore. She ain't got no nigga. She ain't got no boyfriend of 14 years that she's laid up with, contemplating a future and things of that nature. Because let's tell the truth, you ain't with somebody for 4 years because they're your fucking roommate. You plan on probably marrying that bitch. You got this girl, you know, where we got to put something on Lamont too, girl. Let's not put it all just on Rachel. She ain't got no responsibility at home other than that nigga she can't get up out her house. And he probably don't give a damn what she do as long as he can stay up in that house. Tell the truth. You are the girls that we warn the other girls about. Like when you come into the community, that is one of the first things as a gay mentor, hello God, when I do my reviews and I have in-depth conversations, y'all know on several occasions on this platform, I've had to always highlight those particular girls in the community to stay away from. They will fuck your nigga. Past, present, or future. Girl, they finna mess with your man. And they're gonna try to do it. And she's so mad and she's so caught up in her foolishness. All the receipts are receding against her. She has no choice but to take that. But at the same time, you're not trying to take responsibility or any true accountability for your sins and crimes against your so-called friends. That is rule number one in our community. Don't fuck anyone I have been with. They were in a relationship. It's not like Lamont was just Robert's fuck buddy. They said they were in a relationship with each other. And I talk a lot of shit, but Roberta Dutchmaster really doesn't get me whore. I say that because I be dragging her sometimes, but like on a very real level outside of the shits and giggles of it all, Robert gives me like I would prefer to be in a relationship. That's all Robert's kind of been talking about his whole time in this realm is relationships. You don't really, he might have had a whole moment because we all have whole moments, hello God. But like for the most part in his adult years, you can tell that Robert and Lamont definitely gives me a relationship. But now I see Lamont for who he is. Are you fucking Carry On Franklin too, girl? Like, because the way that y'all was in this scene, it was giving more than brotherly love. Hello. You know, Carry On be floating on the clouds of Drugiana, honey. Ain't no telling if Lamont had a piece or a taste. But y'all doing all this talking, but ain't no one telling the tea. Who was doing the bending, girl, in Lamont and Roberta Dutchmaster's relationship? That's the question that I actually really, no one's answering that question because Lamont is with a woman. He's, you know, fucking on Rachel, so he's obviously the top. And we know Roberta Dutchmaster don't mind putting on the healing wigs to go perform down to the shows, girl. So on one of those nights, Lamont probably was getting him some, you know, some boy Poonan. Okay, Poonan, honey. Yeah, shout out to Roberta Dutchmaster for her cakes. Hello, God, that Publix cake. Hello. It's not too hard. It's firm, but you got to eat it in one day because the next day, girl, it's not good. Yes, girl. Oh, God, honey. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Like Rachel, like girl, shout out to Markel for getting that. And if that's how you're putting it together, God bless the messy gods, honey. This might be a cute way to introduce Robert for the next season. I don't know. But again, I need things of substance and value. To be on a very real side, hopefully there are meetings, there are conversations, discussions moving forward. This season was, you know, I'm going to wait for my final judgment at the very end and definitely after the reunion. But as of right now, hashtag I need more. I need more. That's all I got to say, girl. I'm going to get up out of here, girl. I overstayed my welcome. I apologize. Thank y'all for tuning in. Next week, we have another special guest joining us, Honey Hulagan. It's not a cast member, okay? It's a familiar face, Hulagan, all right? So definitely stay tuned for that. Anything else? That's about it. Oh, girl, it's almost 10 o'clock. I love y'all. I appreciate you. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share all the things. All right. Make sure to tap that notification bell. That way you'll be updated each and every time I'm uploading something new. Okay. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at YB And one more time, shout out Jett Jeff. I appreciate you for taking the time and sitting with me to review this episode, and also to give you know, cute little interview vibes and sit down and chill. It's always a pleasure having him over here on the platform. Jett Jeff definitely supports the YB Speaks platform. I really do appreciate it. Can't wait to see what else this season has in store and what the girls will be showing. Hopefully it's something of substance, something of worth, some value, okay? And hopefully we have a kumbaya moment, because if we get down to this reunion and y'all are trying to fight people, we're going to have a very big problem. Markel going to have to issue more than just pink slips, bitch. He going to have to get some baseball bats for a bitch. Okay? Oh, thank you, Savage. Honey, hello, God. I forgot to mention this about Lamont. Stay with me, just very briefly. I apologize. I meant to have this conversation about his bisexuality and how it is dangerous in this moment. You have someone who not only is bisexual, but he is in a relationship with a woman. On top of that, it is considered to be an open relationship only when both parties agree upon adding a third person to the bedroom. Once we are done using your body, hello God, you're a throka, you've served your purpose, goodbye. We won't hear of this anymore. No feelings are caught. One of the things that can get Lamont in trouble is you're on this show. We see your clientele so far. I'm sure you cut the straight boys too. But from what we're seeing on this platform, you're teetering more on your gay vibe. Your wife, girlfriend, whatever she is to you, is she that cool with you teetering more? That's where we're seeing more of you. I don't know who you are outside of the show, but again, we look at Netta and Charles, obvious LGBTQ people, Carry On. I think, forgive me if I'm wrong, but didn't he come out as something at some point? I might be wrong about that. I'm not sure. But girl, whatever. You being on this show with LGBTQ, driven show, it's from the outside looking in, it seems like you're more comfortable in this space. So if I'm your girlfriend, that would probably make me a little more insecure. Because again, we don't, for sexual purposes, we invite a third. It's not like they're allowed to, what he did with Rachel. And that's why that's such a taboo. When I know that was a question some people had, well, they have an open relationship. No, he didn't tell his girl about Rachel. So he was cheating on his girlfriend with Rachel. Rachel wasn't invited into the bedroom by both of them just for sex. You know what I mean? So it's a very dangerous thing. That's why I don't, hey, love who y'all want to love, girl, but don't be in full-on relationships with people and you leaning more towards the gay shit. And I don't want to be one of those gays that talk like this, but from my experience, from the outside looking in and the multitudes of situations like this with Lamont, It is true what people are saying. I'm sorry, people. Bisexual men, most of the time, not all the time, because we can't generalize, most of the time they lean more towards men. And if I'm in a relationship with a bisexual man, I would, again, there's an understanding. We don't know what the actual foundation of their relationship is. Lamont has only given us a tiny bit of that. It's his prerogative. It's his personal life. But he can't get mad if that's a question that people have. And I think that should be whoever interviews him or talks to him, if he's even willing. All of this happening right now, I'm sure, is embarrassing to him. But rightfully so, girl. Like, whatever. Like, you did this to yourself by cheating on your girl. And, why does it take Rachel to have to? I get it, too. Whatever. But, like, Robert, you need to be mad at him, too. Give him the same energy. He's a grown man. He's 37. Y'all love to talk about his age. He's 37. He's grown man. He knew what he was doing, too. He betrayed you, your relationship with her, just as well as he betrayed his relationship with his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. But I do feel bad for homegirl, though, because, again, you have a man who seems as if he teeters more into the LGBTQ, the G of it all, more than he does, loving on you. And you also complained about him not being there or being affectionate and being supportive. Well, girl, he out here with the gays. he busy, girl. We keep the boys busy. Did you sign up for that? I don't know. We don't know y'all's story like that. And that's, again, why it was dangerous even opening up about this part of your life, Lamont, because things like this are going to happen. These conversations are going to happen. Are you okay with that? I don't think anybody's okay with that. But this is what y'all decided you wanted to show. We probably wouldn't even be here right now if you didn't slip into the cooch of Rachel, okay? Girl, I don't know. But I hope someone gets to interview them. And unfortunately, Lamont, that's the bulk of the interest people have in you. I think I've talked about you more here in your philandering ways, honey, than I have anything else that you've, brought to the show. And that's a shame. Anyway, I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share all the things, okay? And until next time, y'all, I'm trying to do more content, videos outside of Chasing Dallas. I just got a lot of stuff going on right now, y'all. So, but these lives will continue, and until the end of the season, at the very least. And then I think we're going to be moving on to Atlanta. Is Atlanta? No, Atlanta's filming now, I believe. And so I think next, who is next? LA? I don't think they're ready yet. I don't know. We might have a little, it's a therapist, girl. We ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that, girl. Anyway, girl, love y'all. Be blessed and stressed. Remember, the health is truly wealth. And yeah, take care. Bye.